along with you on this Wednesday here in May. And if you only knew what went on in the breaks, if you only knew what Charlie Evers just said to Martha Dowse, you're thinking of two icons in this community. You're thinking of two long-time, Charlie Evers and Martha Dowse, and what he just said to her, we can't tell you on the air, but it exists on videotape, so you never know when that'll surface one day on YouTube, Charlie. We need to thank our sponsors before we do anything else today. The Ohio Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Scott M. Gray, D.C., across from the Marion Center, between TSC and Kroger. Call 740-386-6580. Scott Gray is with us today. We've got a lot to talk to him about. And Bucyrus Placemats, to put an ad in, call 419-562-8473. Located at 116 Wayne Avenue in Bucyrus. Check them out on the net, bucyrusplacemats.com. And now, as we do each and every day, we're going to start the day with my buddy Charlie Evers. Don't talk about any donkeys.
No, this is quite different. There's a building in Marion that's probably 100 and some years old now, with a sign on it that just says AC. It's a railroading building, and it's been in Marion, like you say, for at least 100 years. It says AC. Do you know what that means?
Air conditioning.
No. Maybe I'll tell you at the end of the program. It's the AC Tower, it's called. It's at the junction of the railroads in Marion. And it was a switching place where you threw switches to manually change the direction of the tracks or whatever. But it's called the AC Tower.
And you won't tell us what it is?
Not till later on.
Not till the end of the...
Right.
You know, I caught you in the monitor. You kind of look like a preacher today.
Yeah, my collar there, yeah.
You do.
Right,
You
yes.
weren't talking preacher talk during the break there. Okay. We're going to move on with the program because we've got Dr. Scott Gray here, and I've got to tell the doctor something. Two things happened this past week. Number one, I was talking with my grandmother, and she has seen you. I didn't know that.
Okay.
She doesn't have the same last name as me because it's my mother's mom.
Gotcha.
But she had been to see you. Martha Dowse has been to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie's wife has been to see you.
Yes.
You're very popular.
Well, Father's Arnold.
That's exactly right. Hopefully he doesn't run into the same problem.
I'll tell you.
There's your commercial from Martha today.
I just try to do my best, and word spreads when you treat people right, and that's my goal.
I think
my goal.
that's true. And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, the other day Marianne will know this name. Do you remember Tom Ryan, who did the news in Columbus for years?
Yes, I sure do.
Tom Ryan has come down with one of the, I don't know if he'd mind me talking about this, but just a bad case of shingles, which a lot of people get. And I said, well, maybe talk to the doctor, see if he can direct you in some direction, because he cannot get rid of these things, and they're horribly painful.
I want to tell you about Tom Ryan later.
Tom Ryan's a great guy.
Yes,
I
he
love
is.
talking with him.
Yes.
So if Tom Ryan comes to your office, don't be surprised.
Okay.
That's a referral.
Yeah, with shingles, that's something that it's a herpes virus that actually sits in your nerves, and it starts when we're younger. It's chicken pox, okay?
Right.
And it hangs around, and then what happens is that nerve goes out to a specific area in your body. That's why when you get shingles, it only goes to one specific area. It goes right where that nerve goes, okay?
Oh.
And it's an inflammatory process, so there are some things that you can do to decrease the inflammation and try to get that to heal faster. Chiropractic adjustments can make a little bit of a difference, but they're not going to make a very big difference with shingles. There's a lot of other things that you would want to do for that.
Is there a vaccination to prevent shingles now?
Not, they've got a chicken pox vaccination, and that, I'm not sure what that does as far as shingles later on in life, if that does have an effect on that or not. I'm not sure.
I know he's had quite a bout with him and said he has tried everything to get the pain down, and I think it's been over a year now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so hopefully something can be done, because other than that, he's a very healthy guy.
Yeah, refer him to me. Let him talk to me, and I'll give him some things that he can do. I want to go back and make sure I get the exact things, but I've got some things listed out of my office that we use to help people with shingles.
I will give him a call tonight, because it's been a rough way to go. Before we move on from Tom Ryan, talk about Tom Ryan, Marianne.
Well, I just wanted to say he was such a neat guy. When I first started in television in Columbus, I was at Channel 4, and he was at Channel 6, and I was a neophyte, and totally new. And I was assigned to the city building in Columbus, whenever they would have their meetings. And he took me under his wing. Now, we were competitors, but he took me under his wing, and he told me, now, this is the person you should talk to, and this is the situation here. I mean, you know, that to me, that shows what kind of a person he was. And I really appreciated that. And there were other people like that, you know, like Channel 10, I can't think of his name yet, but he's now with CBS. Yeah, CBS.
Bob Orr.
Bob Orr, thank you. And I was without a tape one time at a news conference. Got there late, didn't have my tape. I said, "Oh, Bob, I don't have a tape." He said, "Here's this, you can borrow it and just give it back to me." Now, he was with CBS. Then there was another time when a woman who worked at Channel 10, I asked her, late to the meeting again, I said, "Could you kind of get me up to speed? You know, what did I miss?" She wouldn't give me any information. So that's the difference between some reporters and other reporters.
I know who that is. We talked about. I'm not
Yeah,
going to say. I'm not
I
going to
know.
say. No, I'm not going to say the name, but I know who it is.
No.
Moving on. Dr. Gray, you've worked on Martha. Martha, what is Dr. Gray like as a doctor?
Well, I'll tell you, I go Monday at 2, Tuesday at 2, and Thursday at 2. And he gets me in right away.
No
He
wait.
said, "Martha, you're next." I go in there, and when I come out, I feel like a million. And I tell him, "Dr. Gray, you are one heck of a good doctor. And I tell you, you make me feel like a million."
Well, I'm glad. Thank you, Martha.
What a
She does say that every time.
What a testimonial that is.
She does say that every time. So.
Now, for somebody like Martha, now is it back pain, Martha, you have?
Arthritis between my shoulders, don't I, doctor?
Yep, that's correct.
Now, could a career of dancing certainly lead to something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know, but my legs are in wonderful shape for 80.
Martha just turned 80, by the way.
Yeah, you would
she
never know it.
did.
You would never know it. And she is, and I think her dancing has, really kept her in shape. And but along with that, when we use our bodies that much, when we're jumping up and down, when we see a lot of women that do dancing or have done cheerleading or gymnastics, those types of things, we can see that over time can cause those discs to degenerate in between and can cause some arthritis in the spine like Martha's experiencing.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a rough sport. Dancing is very rough. Kate, have you ever had any trouble? I mean, goodness gracious, young. But do you ever think about that?
Not entirely. I've been really lucky, never broken a bone, never been too injured. It might be because I didn't really do a whole lot of sports back in the day, but yeah, no, I've been doing good. The worst thing I've had is a cyst.
Yeah, that's great. Now, doctor, is there anything somebody Kate's age could start to do now to help prevent problems later on in life?
Definitely, just simple stretches and core exercises. We've all heard of core exercises before, and they really sound boring because we want to work out the beach muscles and those kind of things that look good, when we're out, with in the summer weather and all those things, like show those off. But what's really important is the muscles that you can't see, those ones down there that protect the spine and keep it working, keep it healthy, and keep it strong. And that's what we need to do. And that can take you 10 or 15 minutes a day to do. You want to start those and get in a routine of doing those and taking care of your back. A lot of us don't take care of our back. We just kind of forget about it until we get back pain. And your back can last a lot longer if you do take care of it on a regular basis. And a lot of times when we're very young, we don't think about those things. But when people in their 40s and 50s and 60s and up will tell you that you definitely want to take care of it, because a lot of times when they get in that pain, they say you don't want to experience this, and they wish that they took better care of themselves earlier on.
Start young, no matter
Yes.
what you're doing. Now, somebody, Martha's already revealed her age is 80 here. Somebody Martha's age who comes in 3 times a week, when she's at home, what should she be doing?
Really, focusing on posture, things that, if you're sitting there watching a TV program, make sure that, with our chairs and our couches, what do they typically do? They push us forward like this, they push our neck forward, and that's going to start to put strain through the low back and through the neck and shoulders as well. That'll even pull down in the mid-back where she's having that pain at between the shoulder blades. So getting a lumbar support, something that you can stick behind your back that will keep that curve in your low back, push you up a little bit more. I mean, that's a simple thing. And then, don't sit there and watch 2 hours straight of TV. When you get to a commercial break, stand up, go get a glass of water, move around a little bit. The longer you sit, the more damage it's going to do to your back. So getting
You
up
know
on a
what I
regular
do
basis.
on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? I go to the Y, to the aerobics class.
That's good.
And on Friday, I go to the Keith Davis pool and I teach dancing. Jessie Polka, Electric Slide, and the Cupid Shuffle.
There you go, show up at any of those events.
33 in that class, and they love it.
That's awesome. And doing those exercises in the water aerobics are
Oh,
great.
yes.
Because you don't have that weight coming down on your joints. So you lose a lot of that pressure that's on your joints, and you can exercise without causing more damage or stress to the back, the knees, the hips, and those areas.
You know, Dr. Gray, I have a question. Because I have problems when I'm in a car for a long time.
Yes.
I mean, it's sometimes tough to even get out of the car. I'm so, putting something behind my back
Yes.
usually helps, but I don't know anything else to do. But if I'm in the car for three hours, and then it's tough getting out sometimes.
Yeah, just really focusing on, sitting up as straight as you can.
Straight.
And a lot of times we can put something behind our back, but we won't think about our upper body.
Yes, and
So, we can get some support behind there, but still kind of slouch forward. Doing some things where we just bring our shoulders back, kind of squeezing your shoulder blades together will help to reset that, tucking your chin back. These are things I do on a regular basis. Just hold it there for about 60 seconds.
That's a
Just
good
hold it like
idea.
that, and that's going to start to reset all this through here, which will make you a lot more limber when you get up
have to remember
after
that.
those long drives.
We were talking about gun control
Free
a while
advice, I
ago.
just
Yeah.
got free advice.
Yeah.
If somebody stuck a gun in your back, it'd straighten up real quick.
There you go, just have somebody come in your house every day
That's
and
right.
put a gun in your back. You won't have any need for anything. You'll be good to go. Doctor, I want to talk about something, tie it in with Martha here. Martha, you are kicking off midget football again, right?
Yes,
Now, can we get a close-up of these here? These are midget football.
that's my
Oops.
son Joey. He
And
was
there's
a
a-
Dolphin.
And there's Martha.
That's my granddaughter. She was a Jets cheerleader.
Now, Martha, give us the information on midget football, and then I'm going to come to the doctor. These kids who are young, who are taking bumps and so on and so forth out there,
8 to 12.
what to worry? What can we do to keep them in good shape? Martha, talk a little bit about midget football, when it starts, where people can register, so on and so forth.
Steve Hogg is the person that started. He went to Washington, D.C., saw some young people doing midget football in football and the cheerleaders. And he thought that would be wonderful to bring it to Marion, Ohio. So he did. And midget football was born 39 years ago. Patty Worcester is a treasurer. I'm the secretary. We've been there 38 years. And we have a ball watching those kids. We have a program that starts opening day, and we call it the Popcorn Bowl. That's the day after the Popcorn Festival. And Mr. Scott does it all for us. He gets up there and talks about it, and it's televised. Channel 39 televises everything, and the kids can buy the DVDs for $8.
And if people would like to enroll, they can call you, Martha, right?
Well, they are going to go July the 13th and 14th, 5:30 to 7:30 at the Shelter House behind the concession stand at Lincoln Park.
Perfect. Sounds like it, and it's so much fun. And Martha is boy, is she a part of this. You're out there every Sunday sitting in a lawn chair watching these games.
I go at 10:30 in the morning. I eat a sausage McMuffin and wait on them to start the clock.
And you're there till 7 at night.
I give all the stats to the coaches, and I say, here, use as many names as you can, so the article in the Marion Star comes out on Monday. I get all the stats back, leave the park about 5 o'clock, go to the Marion Star for the stats, McPherson and Bob Putnam, they write us the nicest write-ups, and the kids just love it.
Perfect.
To see their names in the paper.
It's a great program. Now, Doctor, somebody that young, football is such a rough sport. You can throw your back out of alignment, knees, collarbone. I've been hearing collarbones recently.
Yeah.
What can you do to protect something like that young, so you maybe don't have these problems later on?
Really, it's just, making sure that you don't ignore things when they happen. You can see now in the NFL, they're making such a big deal about the concussions and everything. And a lot of times what has happened is people have ignored injuries that have happened. If a child falls down and, maybe they aren't alerted to the, place and time, they maybe forget where they're at, because they're very fragile at that point. And if something like that happens, it doesn't happen a whole lot, but if something like that happens, make sure you take them out of the game and, wait a while, get them checked out by your physician to make sure that they don't have any, injuries or anything like that. But really just using pads and making sure that, the kids know how to tackle properly, and the kids know how to, do things the right way, so they're not, trying to pummel each other or lead with their head to where they're going to cause some kind of cervical or neck problem or trauma. So teaching the proper tackling techniques and making sure you don't ignore problems if the kids show those signs.
Now, one thing I want to talk about, a little related to chiropractics, but related in another way. You recently were on Channel 4 on the Gail Hogan program.
Yes.
Tell us what that was like, and I saw it. It was very great. But for those who didn't see it, tell them what it's about.
Yeah, Daytime Columbus on Channel 4. It's an afternoon show that Gail Hogan does, and Gail interviewed me about my new book, The Good Back, Bad Back, and Gail is awesome. I've done a couple TV experiences before, and she's just one of the greatest ladies. I walked in and just asked me about the book, flipped through it a little bit, and was just so kind and helpful in the interview as well, to make it easy, because that was my first live television interview. So, that's a little nerve-wracking when you do
That's
something like
good.
that. So she made it just very comfortable and easy to do. It was a very exciting experience to do that.
Good appearance. It was a really neat appearance.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to talk about today, Dr. Gray?
No, I think that's it. There's a story I want to share with you. It's going to take a couple minutes, so I'm going to save that for next week.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go into the. Charlie, you going to tell us what AC was?
Yes. AC Tower stands for Atlantic Crossing. That's an early railroad term, Atlantic Crossing.
People waited 20 minutes for
The
that.
AC Tower.
Atlantic Crossing.
If you go down to the train station today and look up, you'll see AC.
AC.
Oh, you know how to knock them dead, Charlie. Holy moly.
Between that and limestone, you can't beat it.
Next to that, and not telling us how to make the miracle hot dog sauce, we're just putting people away. We're going to go into the listener question because we haven't done that. We're going to delve into the mailbag. I like this one. My mother is in her 50s, and I do not like one of her brothers. I have continued to tell her that I will not attend family functions unless she stops inviting the brother. She refuses. What should I do? Charles in Marion. That's a unique situation. Charlie, what would you do?
I'd stay home. Let them go. Do whatever they want to. You don't have to join them.
Would you feel angry if that was your mother who chose her brother, in essence, to come to the party over you?
I wouldn't care.
Stay home.
No, that's right. Hey, there's other things to worry about in the world.
Absolutely. Marianne, what would you do?
I agree with Charlie. I think, if he doesn't like him, then don't go to the family gatherings where he is. Or either that, or, it's not a big problem. Just be there. Just be nice. It is your uncle. It is my brother. You can sacrifice.
Okay.
It's family.
Now-
Family is very important.
Now, Marianne, if your son came to you and said, it's Thanksgiving, it's going to be at your house, one of your brothers has been repeatedly not nice to me for whatever reason, for how many years, would you say, well, sorry, son, the brother's coming?
No, I think he would talk to my brother and tell him, hey, take it easy on my son. He's not liking you too much lately. And I don't want to not have you with our family gatherings. I think you should come. But please, take care. Don't be so nasty.
So you would, if the brother couldn't be civil, you would say you would choose the son?
Yes.
I think you're
I
right.
would.
Doctor?
First, I don't know if I may say something to my mom, but I don't think I'd put her in the position to where I said, you choose your brother or me, because I don't really think that's fair to the mother. But maybe express your feelings and see if she would talk to him. And then I would go. You know, I'd suck it up and deal with that person. And, you know, there's probably other people, and that's one guy out of the family. So I would go enjoy the time with the other family members that I like because I want to be with them, and just kind of put aside my differences with that brother and just, you know, let him do what he's doing and enjoy your time with your other family members.
Martha, if one of your children came to you and said, you know, Mom, I want to come over for Thanksgiving, but your brother and I do not get along, and I'm not going to come. If he comes, what would you do?
I would do the same thing as Dowsketeer Grandpa, Charlie Evers.
You would just stay home.
Yeah.
Would you tell your son to stay home?
Oh, I don't know. I had my son at age 44. I don't know what I'd do.
It's tough, isn't it?
It sure is.
Would you tell a brother to stay home?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a quandary. Kate, what would you do? You could be in this position.
I guess we don't know the whole story, so it makes it kind of difficult to give advice on this, but it still is your family, and family's something that you have no matter what. You can't just get rid of your family. But it made me think of something my dad always told me growing up is kill him with kindness is the best way to deal with any problem. And since it is your uncle, then I think you should talk to your mom about it and figure out if she could do anything to help ease the tension. And then it's still important to be with your family, and I think being there would be a good thing.
I think so, but you know what? I'm actually going to agree with Charlie on this one, because I think that if you really don't want to go, and you're going to be miserable. See, that's what people don't take into account. You can't kill them with kindness and all that, but there is a point where you just rather stay home and say, I want to avoid that person. I mean, how many times in life do we avoid people we don't like in a public setting? Why can't family qualify into that? There are bad family members, I'm sure. I might be a bad family member. I'll tell you, here's what you do, Charlie. Here's why I figured this out. You tell your mom to have Thanksgiving in a bar with alcohol, and then you can carry your gun in now, and you catch that brother on the side, and you say, listen, straighten up or lights out, and then it's over. You won't have a problem at all.
Not at all.
That's right.
He says with tongue in cheek.
Well, sure, but Mary Ann, no, listen, let's just talk in general here about family quarrels. There are, we can make them sound very trite, but there are some that are not so trite, that are very deep-rooted, and, I don't want to be around that person.
I am so glad I don't have a family like that. Never had a problem with family.
But
My
it can
family
happen.
or my husband's family.
But it can happen.
Oh, I'm sure it does happen. I'm just glad it doesn't happen to me.
Well, I mean, I've known families where they would invite the ex-husband to, now think about that, invite the ex-husband to Thanksgiving, and maybe the daughter is married to somebody else. Now,
That is very poor.
That is poor.
I mean,
That's not too good.
no, it isn't. I mean, to me, that's being very insensitive.
But what if you became close? Let me phrase it to you this way. Childhood sweethearts. They grow up, they get married. They're married for 2 months and they can't stand each other. They get divorced. Now, the mother's known the child for 18 years. Now, the girl gets remarried. Now, is she just supposed to cut the child off who's been there for 18 years, the childhood sweetheart who's not related to her?
Of course. He's no longer.
Oh, that's harsh.
She's no longer a part of the family. Or he's no longer a part of the family.
I can't believe, though, in this particular situation that there's even a thought between the son or the daughter and the brother. A brother's a brother. A sibling's a sibling. And I think you should always choose the kids.
Well, that's your opinion. That's fine.
I think you're right. That is my opinion. Charlie, would you choose a child over a sibling?
A child over a sibling?
Yeah.
Whose child?
Your child.
Listen, going back, I had an ex-wife that used to buy clothing for my children under the next marriage.
Really?
I mean, we got along just great after a while.
Were they her
We went
children?
out to dinner.
With your ex-wife?
Yes.
Was that
Oh,
fine?
the whole family. The whole family.
Oh, that happens, though.
Oh.
Oh, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
I mean, some people, have such bitter divorces, but over time they can mellow.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Doctor, if you were divorced from somebody, could you imagine, could you imagine ever making up and having Thanksgiving with them?
It could happen, and in time, all things can heal. I think that you can get over that. I mean, if you want to carry that grudge around with you, I think that's just going to do more bad for you than it is for, you're probably more worried about it and they don't even care anymore, So I think you let go of that bitterness, you let go of that, and it does take time. I'm not saying you can just, turn it off like that, but over time, it may happen.
I wish you were here when we were discussing Maria and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, boy, it was a hot discussion.
Yes, you agree with me.
Let's say I hope I'm not planning on being in that situation ever.
It was a good situation. Good Back, Bad Back is the doctor, the 10 things women must know. Very interesting book. Dr. Scott Gray. And if you want to send us a question, the Exchange Marion on Facebook, irmcommunication@gmail.com. Catch you on Thursday.